We're live.
We're semi-live on YouTube, right?
I'm right here.
Okay, so does everyone has got the email this morning as well about Lab 1 and Lab 2 with all the documents?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Now if you could please make sure you download that stuff and open it because that's what we're going to be doing today. Before we start, actually, yeah, if you can try and get online with the information of your teammates, maybe they have a Gmail or a Skype, and see if you can find them online right now, because no one's dialed into the Tandberg yet. So hopefully they're out there trying to dial in, and see if you can contact them, see if they're online right now. But also, say what?
They all have Hotmail.
They all have Hotmails?
Oh yeah.
We have their Skype.
Yeah, some students didn't respond to the
Really?
account yet.
Okay, but do you have their Skype? Nothing?
Email them.
Do we have Skype on this?
Just email them, yeah. Just see what you can do. If not, we'll just make do. But do what you can right now to see if you can get them. See if they're online at least. So they should. Most of them should be. Some of them, it's like 3 a.m. so they're just not probably going to be here in lab with us. Okay. We're also, before we dive into what the labs are about, we're going to have Holt give a quick presentation about what he's doing. Holt, are you ready for that now? Sure. Okay.
Hi, once again, I want to really thank you guys for participating. If there's any of you that haven't turned in a consent form yet, please see me so I can get you one. That's one of the formalities we have to kind of go through. There's going to essentially be three groups of teams that we're looking at. There's going to be those that are co-located, so there'll be 2 UBC teams and 1 BYU team that work just with each other, and you'll be co-located there. And also the BYU team that's working with Wayne State. You guys will all kind of be in the control group, okay? And so all I need to have you is make a note that you're that co-located group. I'll be sending a survey out later this week, and I need you to fill it out like within the first day or two. It takes about half an hour. I'll let you know I had my 15-year-old son and 16-year-old daughter take it, and it took them 13 minutes. Now, they made up the answers, but so it might take you, I'm guessing I gave you twice as long for that one. The other two are the NX teams, and one of you is just going to be treatment. Those working with Hanjik, USP, Pongji, and UBC. You'll just be working as your teams for what you're working on. I need to visit with those that from BYU that are working with UBC. Who's that one? Do you know who you are for that group?
They should. The UBC BYU team.
UBC BYU team.
Raheel, Aaron, and West.
Whereabouts are you guys? I just need to visit with you guys. These are the ones I need to visit with during this time period towards the end of class. UIA, that's you guys there, okay. Toluca, okay, and NTU.
NTU is
Taiwan.
Yeah.
they have
They have love and Friday. Okay, so they're not here. Okay, so I'll catch with them. But if I can just visit with you 3 teams sometime today. And if you can remember, the last 3 teams, you'll be designated as a PGVT team, which is a Principles of Global Virtual team. The other ones will be a non-Principles of Global Virtual team, and the other one will be co-located teams when your surveys come out. I'll make note of that when I send you the surveys out and the link to your surveys. I remind you of 2 things for this one. I'm going to ask for your names, but that's simply to track what kind of difference you have from the start of semester to the end. Other than that, I don't use them to identify you for anything. It's just a statistical need for tracking you statistically wise. There are no right or wrong answers. It's just where you think you're honestly at in the surveys and what your experiences are in the surveys. And finally, you're going to learn, if you haven't learned about a lot of these tools, a lot of these are really neat virtual tools. I encourage you to play around with them with your international teammates and with each other. Take the time to explore what they can and can't do so that you understand what their limitations are and where the great advantage is. You have a unique opportunity here that your communication skills, written and spoken, are going to be filtered through these technologies. and it's going to be a new way of learning to communicate for you. And it can be really fun, but it's also very challenging, okay? And if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask me further again if you're wondering what I'm doing. I hope to kind of get to know some of you. I've visited with some of you already, and if you do, just let me know. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Hope. And this is thanks for your participation in that, guys, because it'll really help a lot implementing those things. All right, can everyone open up Lab 1, the document? Does everyone have that? So today we're going to go over Lab 1 and Lab 2, which are really quick and simple. We're not going to be diving into too much heavy engineering stuff at all. And actually, part of Lab 2 we're not able to do yet, and we'll explain that.
Is the one entitled Lab 1 Team Building?
Yes. Okay. Lab 1, that's the lab document. So I want everyone to look at it real quick, and we'll just explain we'll explain the format of these labs so you know what to turn in, because we've tried to simplify it and make it real clear as to what you need to do. So if you look at the top, you see the objective. The objective talks about what you're going to learn in the lab. There's reference material, and as you look on page 3, on the middle of the page, it says list of in-class submissions. So we made it real simple this year, just a checklist of this is what you need to turn in. So it's real clear. So that stuff you should turn in by the end of class. And then at the end of page 4, near the middle of page 4, there's a list of homework submissions. And it's just a checklist of this is what you need to turn in. So as you go through the lab, you'll see it'll say do this, do this, do this, and just make sure you check those off the list as you do them so that when you turn them in, make sure you get credit for everything, right? Is there any question about that, how the lab is set up? It has a quick grading rubric at the top, which shows how many points for each question and whatnot. And that basically is how it goes. So today we're just going to talk about Skype. I think we just realized the Skype. Does anyone have Skype on their computer? Can you look?
I didn't say that.
Okay. Well, that complicates things. So, does anybody, who's used Skype before? I'm assuming most everyone. Okay. If you haven't used Skype before, it's pretty simple. We were going to go over it, but since we don't have Skype, we will forego that. Basically, if you don't have a Skype account, you should have made one already. Is that right, Jared? And have Skype downloaded, and then just make sure you add the contacts from your teammates. Were those in the email as well that we sent out? Right.
As much as we have them.
Yeah, as much as you have. And if you don't have someone's Skype account in your group, especially the foreign students, email them and ask them for their Skype account, because you're going to be using Skype a lot this semester. Google Documents. Who's used Google Documents before? All right, great. I think that we will, in fact, so if you look at on page 2, number 2, well, number 1 talks about doing a Skype conference. We'll have to just do that one. Just do that one outside of class, I guess, and turn it in later. But number 2 talks about having a Skype conference with all the team members connected. In this case, we'll just do one with those who are here, because I'm not sure. Has anyone been able to connect with any
They emailed us back.
Yeah, they said they're online, but on their Skype, but we don't have Skype on our computer.
Yeah.
Working on it.
Yeah, do you have administrator rights? Because I just tried to sign mine.
Not
It didn't work.
clear, but I'm seeing if we can get it.
Okay. Yes. What group are you guys?
UBC, they don't have a team yet.
Do everything you can with your teammates, and then catch up with everyone else. So, yeah, we'll get back to you on that. We just got an email from them this morning saying that they hadn't. Did you tell them that already?
Yeah.
All right, so adapt. We're real flexible guys, by the way. We understand that a lot of things happen in this class, so just roll with it. So yeah, just do everything you can just with you two, and then meet up with your group later. So the number 2 on the in-class exercise, just say just introduce yourself to your teammates. Yeah, if you can get Skype right there, that'd be excellent. And wait, does your group, they said they're on Skype, can they get into Tandberg, or can they not? that either.
No, he says they're having problems connecting to the conference,
That they're on Skype.
Which school are they from? Brazil?
That's Toluca.
The Toluca? Can you ask them to hang up and dial in again? Yeah.
They're in
They're
Tanberg?
in Canberra?
USD is in Tanberg.
And they're are they seeing what's going on right now? Because it says we're the only participant.
Tell them if they're in and they're not seeing anything, tell them to hang up and dial in again because it took us a second to get the conference going. That is cool.
So what do you?
I can get it.
Yeah. Just
So,
Yes. Well, the thing is the activity, like for the kids here, they don't just do it out here. For those that have people out there, to
we can try joint damage. That's not voice.
so some of them.
That's not voice.
Yeah. Yeah, so they can get voice calls. You can just get see our girlfriend starts calling. Great, thank you. All right.
That's weird that no one else is in there.
Still, yeah.
They should be.
It's the same conference we always do, right?
Yeah, as everything's the
Yes.
same.
Sure. What's up?
I set up an email account. I know I have a Cavalier, which is homicide legal. And it was exactly the same. It had a Google Docs attachment and everything like that. Hopefully I might be able to take it.
I mean, if you're able to.
What's the basic idea?
Google Docs.
Okay.
You have Google Docs that you can share with us at work, and then just here. Yeah, and then just that's all you really need to do. Email account for us. Okay.
So I can review everything.
Wednesdays have a hard time.
Already make another email account for it.
Yeah.
Wednesday is having a hard time getting Google Maps.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know whether Jared.
What?
Jared, whether you need to redo the form or just need to email us and check. Okay, but that should work fine. Okay, I think that we could just do.
So which ones are we supposed to be doing off this lab one?
Right, okay, well, so the in-class assignments are basically you meet with your team, you get to know your team through the activities. Number one, number two, and then number three is we use join.me just to do a screen share and everything. However, since we're having trouble, since we apparently don't have Skype here in the lab yet, we can't exactly do that yet. So, what's up?
And also, it's 1 a.m. in Korea.
Right, yeah, some groups.
They said they weren't going to be. I talked with them yesterday. They're not going to be logging in today, but I told them to expect an email from you, setting up a time that you can call them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so in many, we understand, many cases, you can't do as many of these in-class Skype calls. And normally we won't be having, we're not usually gonna have a structured, like, meeting during lab time like this. Usually you just have your own weekly meetings at a time that you designate. And it's not absolutely necessary that you communicate with your team during the lab. So the in-class assignments we have are those team building assignments for the most part, but there's some